Okay, so I did the glitches by hand, and I rendered one out, and I called it the by hand glitch, and it's now here in the mixdown. I'm going to change the name of this to breaks. Yep. And this is going to be, I guess, we'll call this drums 2, right? Depeche Mode, Madonna, and these other things. This is an ARP, and bass. So let's just, here. All right, let's call it what it is. Bass line, which is very drony, and we'll call this brass ARP, sure. And here is ARP 2, or Bell's ARP, I think, actually, if I stop the whole thing and listen. And it's like a tweaky filter bell, so we'll just call it ARP 2, okay? And, all right, so we got all this stuff done. Let's save this. Here's the thing, okay? We're ready to maybe start getting this stuff ready for the Force. I don't have any risers and downlifters yet, all right, which are very important, actually, for performance and for keeping things sounding good. If I have this arrangement here and we listen, let it play just a second. We have a lot of headroom. It never gets really above negative 5.7 decibels, right? Which is great if you're sending it off to a mastering house, but that's not what we're doing. Now when we add the breaks, listen. We do lose some of our headroom, okay? It's already at negative 4. It does get up to actually negative 1.
You know it drives me crazy.
All right, the point is that it's at negative 4. Do we want it to be right at 0 for each track? Not so much, right? But we do want, when we transfer this stuff over, I'll probably go to each one, and I'll probably, since this one has a soft clip on already, I'll probably put limiters on each one of these and drive them just a tad into the clipping area. Even when they're turned down, this one here is at negative 19 decibels, right? This is at negative 9.7, negative 22, right? There's a lot of headroom in here, but what I'm doing is when I render these and freeze them, which I'm going to do, I'm not going to use key groups like I was planning on doing. When I render these and I freeze them, I want them to be limited, all right? And so then even if they're at a lower decibel level, they'll still be a little bit squashed, but limiting is very transparent compared to compression. So when I drop it into the Force, I can raise the decibels there if I need to. And I probably will, because it's got a large amount of headroom right now, okay? So right now, let's render out some breaks, right? Let's go back. Well, I missed that one, didn't I? Okay.
Hey, Mr. DJ, put a record on. I wanna dance with my baby. And when the music starts, I never wanna stop. You know it drives me crazy.
Just dropping breaks here and there.
Music makes the people yesterday and I don't look at the clock.
You know what? I'm not actually happy with this entire render. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to just color code these breaks in a different color. Just spread them out so that they render in different colors on the Force as clips. And then we'll save this. Let's get into the risers and fallers. Now, in my Psytrance pack on the Force, let's go to Instruments. I have all these effects here, uppers and downers. Let's put that in there. No. I think this is 128 uppers and 128 downers in one drum rack, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some risers and fallers. Right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and now 9 audio tracks. So we're going to have to wiggle a little bit here, right? For one thing, if we don't render this audio track, if we don't render this number 9 as an audio track, it'll transfer over as a drum track. So that sounds great. Let's listen to some of these. Okay, we have risers. And what I've done over here is the whole bottom half, the lower octaves, are all risers. And then the ones at the top, I guess that's the threshold there. All right, so let's drop some of these in here. Actually, let's just record a whole. Let's record the entire track as risers and. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the microphone, turn off the screencasting, and well, maybe not. Let's just get started. Wait till the next bar.
Hey, Mr. DJ, put a record on. I wanna dance with my baby. And when the music starts, I never
I know it sounds whack now, but it'll be okay.
drives me crazy. Yesterday and I don't look at the clock. I like to boogie woogie. It's like riding on the wind and it never goes away.
Beautiful.
Touches everything I'm in. Got to have it every day. Music makes the people come together. Yeah.
Some of these are off the wall.
Hey, Mr. DJ. Do you like to tango? Boogie woogie, do you like to bebop? Boogie woogie,
that one again. Oops.
Music makes the people come together. Yeah. Music makes the bourgeoisie.
See, one of those are off, obviously.
To tango, boogie woogie, do you like to bebop? Boogie woogie, do you like to mambo? Boogie woogie, do you like my acid rock? Mr. DJ.
All right, it's a little ridiculous, right? We've got some of these. This guy here needs to be adjusted in timing. Here we missed one completely, or I did. So I'll just put that one in there. All right, interesting thing about this is that we need risers to be on the half beats of all of these. So what we're going to do is select all, and then we're going to drag. This is going to be weird. Where's the lowest note? Okay, looks like the lowest note I have here is, oh, it doesn't tell me. It's number 55. So I'm going to hold Control and pull down a copy of all of these, which will all be selected. Then I'm going to hold Shift and go down arrow until I'm in the uppers. In fact, I'm going to keep going until I'm right down in the bottom of the uppers. And then I'm going to use the left arrow. Actually, I'm going to use the right arrow to put these exactly, I don't even know how to explain it. Okay, they're halfway between each one of these stabs, which is going to be an upper, okay? I'm going to pull some of the notes out here just a tad. Let's hear how this sounds, right? As expected. Now let's wait for this.
Hey, Mr. DJ,
A little bit of an upper there.
I wanna dance with my baby. And when the music starts,
Okay, a little movement.
I never wanna stop. You know it drives me crazy.
Okay, now there's some issues here. Some of these need to be shortened for sure. You know what? I'm going to shorten all of them just because. I'll probably use effects to try to. Dang, I don't know if that's the right. Don't know if that's the right move. I need to mess with these risers and make them fit in the right spots, right? Because some of them are super, super long, and they have super long heads before they actually start to rise, before you can actually audibly hear it with your ears, right? So I need to fix that. So I'm going to go in there and fix that. And this is going to probably be on its own track, and it's going to be unaffected. I'm going to leave it looping, right? But I'm going to leave it unaffected by scene launch, right? Which means that each time I launch a scene going down in the force, it's not going to mess with this large loop at the top that's going to be playing. I'm also going to put the volume I'm going to add some reverb to this when I get it in the Force, and I'm going to add, let me save this. I'm going to add some a volume automation that I can easily turn it down and up from the panel on the Force, right? So let's just assume that the uppers and downers are fine. We're going to leave the breaks the way that they are. So right here, right from the beginning, I'm going to get rid of all the clips that we have in the main music section, okay? And I've already decided that on the front panel of the Depeche Mode part, I want to be able to fade that in with a filter on the Force. So I'm going to copy and paste that here on the Force, okay? Let's use Control-I and give ourselves a okay, so here on the Force, this is just going to be, I'm going to use the gotta decide what to do with all this stuff here. I'm going to hit Control-I a few times and put some space between all of this, which I will deal with later, and what I'm actually going to be putting into the scene launch on the Force. So right now, on the Force, I want this to be the only loop that's starting, and on the Force, I'm going to use a filter to sweep it in, okay? I will put the uppers and downers up there so that there will be some reverb and some rising and falling, right, etc., etc. So the next thing, if I go here, is I want these two. I want the Madonna here. I'm going to put that where it goes. Boom. And change this to green so I can remember where things are. I want this Depeche Mode hit, which is the same thing that I just did. So I don't need to do that. I can just go here and double it, duplicate it, okay, save, go back, grab the next section, which I think is all of this, yeah. Put that there, and I'm going to change the color just a tad, and then all of this, which I'll put here, and I'll change the color just a tad, okay? And then let's Control-I, add some more clips or some spaces, right? It's going slow. My computer is not fast. Anybody who complains about a slow computer has only to use mine for a very short time and find out how bad it could be. But the fact is I get things done. Waiting. Oh, there it is. Let's go back over. Is there anything in this section that I may have missed? No. So the next section is going to be just the ARP here, which is in Synth 1, that's in Brass ARP. Okay. And some more Depeche Mode. And I think that's the same as this. It's not exactly the same as the second one. You know what? In this section, this part I don't want to come in yet, so I'm going to duplicate this whole row here. And then I'll take this Madonna. See, it's got a little intro there, a little piece. It's insignificant, I'm not going to lie. Maybe I shouldn't even deal with that. You know what? Let me hear what this sounds like looped by itself. It's just her breathing, okay? Hold on, what did I do? Did I just do something silly? I think I may have a redo move scene. Okay. I don't know what that means. Let's just take this whole piece and put it in there just because. Okay. And that will be a weird color. fact, I'm just going to put that in there. Okay. Don't need this, don't need this. Okay, next piece. We're going to go with, this is pretty large. We'll take it. Since that's double time, I'm going to change the look of that a little as well. And this guy here. Change the color. All right, this ARP2 is finally coming in. And the brass ARP as well. That, it's a little longer than the last one, so I'll change the color of that as well. All right, now let's save. All right, from here, we've got this bass line, very important. I'm going to take that, bring that in. Grab this Madonna vocal and put that where it goes. And change the color, save. Just waiting. Come on, baby, you can do it. You can do it. Gotta speak to your equipment. Boom. Alright. It looks like on the second half of this guy here, we have this drum break. So, what that means, so we need to take that and we need to put it where it goes, down here. So I can launch this on the Force, right? And these guys are playing, and then I'll just launch this next, all right? Let's use Control-I. Give ourselves some more spaces to fill in. Okay, and let's save. With a computer this old, saving is integral. It's not just something that you should do, it's something that you must do, right? All right. In the next line, we're going to have a full-on bass line. We're going to have brass ARPs galore, right? And we're going to have, not ARP2, we are going to have some Madonna in there. And we can change the color of that. We're going to have some Depeche Mode in there. Boom. And we're also going to have this NST break. Right? Save. I would hate watching this. Excuse me. If anybody's here watching this still, you did it. Thanks. I appreciate you. All right, the next spot. This has some weird spots here. Right? I'm not sure exactly how I should populate this, but we'll just do it the best way we know how. Alright, this guy here will be, we'll put it here. Right? And we'll put this one here, right? And I'll probably set the Depeche Mode one to not loop, so I can just fire it off when I want to, which means I need to change the color of that for sure. And let's go down. Boom. I want to save again, but I don't want you guys to have to wait and see it. Grab this dude. Boom. Let's get some Control I to add a few more rows. Hold on, that doesn't go there, it goes there. And brass ARP and ARP 2. Sorry if you guys are bored. Take this Madonna clip. Boom, boom. This guy here needs a different color. Keep seemingly using the same colors. This little dude here is exactly the same as this one, which actually should be much more mustard. Let's make it mustard. Both of these are going to be not looped. Okay, good. And now, dang, we're only halfway through. Okay. This is 6 bars. Okay, well, we'll grab 4 at a time. I can fix these later, but I'm going to have to practice a few times in this launch row. Brass harp. Actually, I want this here. Okay. Two. A little bit of Madonna. Add some more rows. Okay. Next section. Need an ARP. Not sure exactly how to deal with some of this stuff. See, look how short this little dude is. This guy here is cut off. I don't even know if that's supposed to be that way, but we'll figure it out. Next round. Next row. Big row. Long pieces. Add some more rows. Alright, looks like that's the outro right there. Okay, save. Okay, let's go through these just to see what's going on. This is going to be unaffected on the Force, so I'm just going to go ahead and remove all of the stop buttons here so that it's unaffected in this scene as well. Let's listen. Of course, this guy here is going to be faded in with a filter. Those risers are off.
Hey, Mr. DJ, put a record on. I wanna dance with my baby. And when the music starts, I never wanna stop. You know it drives me crazy.
Beautiful. Ooh, we got ourselves a CPU overload. So if you're hearing this and the video just messed up, I need to freeze some of these tracks. I think adding this super reverb tail right here to the upper and downer may have messed that up a little, but let's try again.
Think of yesterday and I don't look at the clock. I like to boogie woogie. It's like riding on the wind.
Yeah, that's where that drum beat comes in.
Touches everything I'm in. Got to have it every day. Music makes the people come together. Yeah. Music makes the bourgeoisie and the rebels.
So far, so good.
Hey, Mr. DJ.
Yeah, we got some.
To tango, boogie woogie, do you like to bebop? Boogie woogie, do you like to mambo? Boogie woogie, do you
Man, this video probably looks terrible. I'm sorry, guys.
Hey, Mr. DJ, put a record on. I wanna dance with my baby.
NST drum loop.
When the music starts, I never wanna stop. It's gonna drive me crazy. Music makes the people come together. Music makes the bourgeoisie and the rebel. Yeah. Music.
All right, so far so good. If the video is all completely messed up, at least you could hear what was going on here. I'm going to save this. I'm going to get this video back in order, and we'll move on to the next section, which I believe is freezing everything and getting it ready for the Force. All right, so I've gone through here, and what I've done is I have frozen all of these tracks, okay, the first 6 tracks. The thing about this is that some of these, most of these, just because I grabbed them from the session view, they are trimmed properly and they were all, set to be frozen properly. However, some of these Madonna tracks, for instance, even though the start and end points were in the right spot, they actually contained the entire sample, right? Each one of these tracks had the entire vocal sample. So I had to go through and crop sample, right? I did that all the way down. The Depeche Mode sample is fine. I'd already done that, okay? So I've frozen all of these now, okay? And what I want to do, actually before I froze them, I also went through each one and I turned off all looping, okay? And the reason why I did that is so that when I flatten it, it doesn't give me a couple of renditions of the same thing. Whenever you take a sample or a clip, a MIDI clip, whatever, and you freeze it, if it's looped, when you flatten it, it'll give you 2 instances of the rendered audio. It'll give you a first one and then it'll kind of loop back in the middle. It kind of is to keep the variety, etc., etc. But I don't want that when I'm dealing with Akai Force. So what I'm going to do now is all these, I'm going to select them all and I'm going to right click and I'm going to flatten, right? So they've already been rendered because they've been frozen and now they've been flattened. They're doing their thing. My computer's still slow. But yeah, for some reason just it doesn't speed up. Okay, so all of these now were once MIDI tracks, so were some of them. They've all been rendered to audio. As you can see, some of them are louder or seem to be louder than others, right? It's because they take a more prominent place in the mix, or it's because they're compensating for these values that I have down here. I should have tried to, just because I'm preparing for the Force, I should have mixed them all properly. I could still do that, actually. I could put them all at 0, which is where they're going to be when I, I can see, well, anyway, that's another discussion. I'm just going to leave them the way they are, and I'm going to go ahead and just adjust them inside of the Force, okay? Here's another thing. I want to make sure that these rows and tracks are actually in order, right? So I always have my bass lines in the first, and then I have my synths next, which is fine. That's how I've got it so far. After that, I put drums. So I'm going to go drums, and I'm going to go breaks. Now, the Depeche Mode is really just a drum loop, so I'm going to pull that over, okay? These breaks, I don't know what I'm going to do with those yet, but we'll figure it out. Now, over here, I have my risers, okay? Next to everything, right, I've got these glitch mix downs, okay? I don't know which one I like the most. The one I did by hand has a lot of nice stuff in it. See, just little things that I put in, right? I think that that's pretty usable, but then there's the super glitched out stuff that I use with Tim Exiles the Finger on Reactor. Listen. Okay, these are pretty intense. Then there's the glitch VST stuff. You know what? I'm just going to make the executive decision to get rid of that. I don't care. I'll keep this mix down because I can use it later. That's too erratic. It's too all over the place. I'm going to get rid of that too. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the rack effects. Listen to this. And I'm going to warp it at 105, which is what we're already working in. I'm going to take that to the top here, right? And I'm going to chop different bits out. Okay. And the first one, I'm just going to duplicate. You know what I'm going to do? I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to loop this much audio. Control L. Then I'm going to duplicate that for the second row. I'm going to, for the third row, duplicate that, but I'm going to select the loop part and I'm going to use Shift and Up arrow so it gives me the next piece.
Hey, Mr. DJ. Hey, Mr.
Okay, looks like it's
Hey,
a,
Mr. DJ.
going to duplicate that and do the loop point forward movement again. Shift and Up arrow.
Music starts. Music starts.
Next one is,
Music.
okay,
Music.
okay, that means this one should be 8 bars long. Okay. You know, as I'm going along, I'm just going to crop sample, crop sample, crop sample, croppy crop crop. Okay. Next one is
Think of yesterday.
what happened here?
Think of yesterday.
Okay, that means this one should be bigger. Crop sample.
Think of yesterday.
I'll leave this here because I know that the next one is, anyway. I'm gonna have to make some blank spots is all I'm saying. Let's try.
Think of yesterday.
Oops.
Music.
Okay. Come on.
Think of yesterday. Riding on the wind. Music.
Okay, that means this one should be 8 bars. Cool. Crop sample. Okay, these are cropped as I go. And this here, let's see what this is about.
Hey, Mr. D.
Okay.
Music. Hey, Mr.
I see. So the last one should be
Hey, Mr.
yep. Longer still. Okay. Next one.
Do you like to?
Okay.
Hey, Mr. Do you like to?
Okay. Crop this piece.
Do you like to tango? Hey, Mr. DJ.
Boom.
Hey, do you like? Hey, Mr. D.
Okay. That means this should be 8 bars. Crop.
Play music.
Getting close to the end here.
Play,
Ah. I can hear that that's off a little.
play, Mr. DJ. Music star. Music.
Ooh, beautiful. This guy here. So it starts at 65. Yep, okay. Let's fix it. Oh, and crop it. Boom.
Music.
Okay.
Music makes a music. Music makes a
Okay.
music.
mixed.
Music.
Yeah, so this guy here should be double. 73, yes. Talking to myself and talking to you guys at the same time-ish.
Music.
Oh.
Do you like music? Do you like?
Okay, so this one should be double as well. And cropped.
Do you like?
Last one.
Hey, Mr. DJ. Do you like to mambo? Boogie woogie, do you? Hey, Mr. DJ.
To 97. All right, well, this last one here should be huge then. Let's make sure that it's trimmed properly. It is. Or that the warp markers are in the right spot, basically. And this is the end. This is the last one here, so we're just going to take that one all the way to the end here. And crop. Boom. Okay, we have made some real headway. Now, when I drop this into the Force, I'm going to pull these brakes out of the way because I don't want them messing with me in the Force right now. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That should be a perfect 8 tracks of audio for the Force. Okay. The brakes at this point are expendable. I am going to use them, but I'm not going to mess with them, until I put this into the Force. Now, what I just did here needs to be frozen and flattened. Actually, cancel. They're all looped, so I don't want them to render more than one. So I'm going to turn all the loops off, and then I'm going to freeze. Okay, and then I'm going to flatten. Now, before I drag this into the Force, I'm also going to select all of these, and I'm going to turn warp off, all right, because I don't want them warped inside the Force. The Force warp engine is terrible. Inside the Force, all of these 6 tracks are going to be playing, probably breaks too, and uppers and downers is just going to be doing its own thing in the background. Okay. This mix down track, which I'm gonna rename it Glitch. Okay. You're not going to hear this when I'm launching scenes unless I throw the crossfader over to B real quick, and it'll give me some glitchiness right before the next bar drops, right? So that's how this is all going to work. We're almost completed with our Ableton Live portion, right? Only about 2 hours into the video, it seems like. I'm not sure exactly how long, but yep, it's been a short journey. I would have created key groups of some of these synthesizers so that it wouldn't just be launching audio clips, but I'm not super invested in this track, to be honest. Right? So let's flatten this track, and let's select all the loops. Let's select all the loops, actually. Boom. All the loops, the 71 clips over here. And let's go to launch. I'm not seeing, okay, I see that there's loops. I'm not really worried about loop. I'm worried about warp markers, okay? Wherever there's warp markers, then there's problems. Turn all the warp off. Okay. See if I can select all these guys and turn all the warp off on all of them. Okay, so now we're golden. I'm going to go ahead and save this again. And let's see, I might as well crack the Force open. Turn that sucker off. Oh, it's not even plugged in. All right, I'm going to be back in a moment, and we'll load this into the Akai Force, and I'll show you how that's done. Okay. It's been 3 days since I worked on this track, and I'm glad that I took some time off. Today is the day after Christmas. Yesterday was awesome. Haven't worked on this since the 23rd. Okay. The thing is that the very last thing that I wanted to do in the last part of the video is I wanted to export all of this to the Force. But to be honest, after listening a few times, I really there's some things I'd like to do to add some parts between some of these parts. Right, I want to insert some hypnotic parts, just to increase the mixability of the track and do some things, just arrange it a little better. A few things I did. I adjusted some of the loops in the Depeche Mode part. It's basically just a drum loop, but I cleaned up some of that. Nothing significant that I needed to show you. I had a Madonna vocal here, but there was nothing in it, so I got rid of it because in this part here, it's like the first verse, and then it breaks down to this part, which is just instrumental. And then the chorus, first chorus comes in. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to add some, a little bit of parts here. So right here at 15, got this instrumental part. I'm going to Control I to add a row, okay? And I think I'm going to add 2 more rows just to give me some room to work here. Okay, I think here I'm going to drop down. I need a reverbed kick. In fact, this will give me a chance to use some of these breaks. I'm going to use Control X, Control Z to undo, but put a copy here, and then the breaks that I made earlier, I'm going to duplicate this so I've got a nice copy. But this first one here, I'm going to cut this thing down to just the kick and crop the sample. I'm going to Control T to add a audio track. I'm going to go into my audio effects. I'm going to grab a reverb and bring that over. Let's listen. Alright, let's increase the decay time a bit. Nice. I'm going to grab this guy here. I'm going to recolor that so I can distinguish it. Going to Control X. It's on track 9. And I'm going to freeze this with the reverb on it. And then I'm going to flatten. As you can see, it gives me the whole tail. So I'm going to grab that, Control X, and put that here. Boom. I don't need this track. Let's see. Cool. This could use a little bit of boost, I think. Maybe just a tad. Okay, save. Boom, boom, boom. So when this goes, maybe I'll drop this arc down as well. Yep, good. Okay, that sounds so much like Rod Bass and DJ Easy Rock. Oh, it takes 2 to make a thing go right. Okay, here I'm going to add Control T to add a MIDI track. And I'm just going to add some stuff in here and just build things out a little bit. And then I'm just going to freeze this and just keep rendering clips to these audio tracks. First thing, I'll grab a bass line. How about we'll go to plugins. Oh, Reactor 6, that'll work. Boom. It's interesting, this is only the Reactor 6 player. I actually don't have Reactor 6, I have Reactor 5. Actually, this TRK1 bass is really thick. Easy to get some variations out of. Very easy, actually. Envelope. Aux envelope, yes. Turn the subs down a little. Okay. I need that to be looped so that I can work. Okay, let me Control T, another guy. Let's build out a piece here, build out a little bit of stuff. Reactor 6 again, no. How about Dead Mouse? It's a mouse synth. This is a freeware plugin. It's made to mimic the sound of Dead Mouse's sound design, and it does a pretty stinking good job. To tell you the truth, as far as it's a freeware, it just cuts through the mix like crazy. What's that? Oh, it does. It is CPU heavy, just a tad. On your machine, it probably won't be. On mine, it is. It's, yep, that's a heavy tail. Let me cut down that decay. And let me add an arpeggiator. Okay, sounds good. Let's do another one. As in another MIDI track. Let's go to plugins. Let's grab, I don't know, Synth 1. Boom. Synth 1 is also freeware. The amount of stuff that I use that's not freeware is very, very low, actually. In Synth 1, if you go to online, you can find I have 16,000 Synth 1 presets. And you can find these all over the place. Let's just grab. See, these tracks are super loud. Okay, let's just look at these notes, make sure that, well, let's see here. Let's see, some of these need to be adjusted. That's the nature of my, okay, let's listen. It's the nature of my slow machine. Let's listen. Alright, let's freeze these pieces, all of them. Boom. So that's how you add parts, basically. Within, we want to stay within the 8 audio tracks that are available inside the Force, right? But we want to add new stuff. Notice, actually, I forgot before I started freezing these that I didn't turn the loop off on these. So it's kind of it's going to give me a double, when I flatten these, it's going to give me 2 renditions of each of these clips, right? That's what I was talking about before. It's kind of something that Ableton does, and it's a great idea to add a little variety. Also to make sure that, like, if some of these synths, like with these envelopes, when they first come in, that it doesn't loop back to like an odd envelope point and things like that. You'll see what I mean. Let's flatten these pieces. Oh, it's taking a while. My slow machine, y'all. go to Ghost Written Clips and buy my packs. See this right here? See how this goes? This is that the, okay. See how it gives me two renditions? Synth 1 here, you see this second loop looks a lot smoother. This one clips a little bit. I'm gonna crop that on the second one. Crop this guy on the first. Crop the bass line on the first. On the first rendition. Okay. Now you can see these guys are, you know, rendered. This is a bass line. I'm going to color that something different because it's that's too close to what's going on around me. Boom. I'm going to drag that over to baseline. This is a synth. I'm going to pull that over to this ARP here. This is a synth here. I'm going to pull that over to ARP. I'm going to rename this Synth 2. And I'm going to get rid of these that I was using here. So it goes back to normal. Okay? As you can see, I'm going to go ahead and save. Okay? And I'm going to arrange these out. I'm probably going to double this row, right? And I'm going to double that row again, actually. And the first time when this comes in, I'm not going to have this synth or this synth. Just, and I'll probably add some texture stuff around here. And then the second one, maybe. See, that's very loud. Okay, I'm going to double that. Here, I'll probably just grab a copy of this verb kick. And then maybe this on its own.
Music makes the people come together.
Okay. I'm gonna arrange this out a little bit. So I'm gonna get started on that, and I'll show you guys what I do after I do that. I'm gonna do this here, and then there's another spot down here. Let's see. Let's listen for a moment.
Hey, Mr. DJ, do you like to
See, that could use a little bit of something. Bring some of these elements here that I just created back. I want to add some things to give it some grit and some drive, you know.
do you like to
Like this bass line over here. It's kind of hard, but I want something that's really going, especially as the track progresses. I want to add something with a lot more drive, a lot more, you know, I don't know. I hesitate to use the word distortion, even though that's like a catch-all phrase for what I'm looking for, but maybe some bit crushing, maybe some stretch or some things that are going to add some granular elements. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to mess with this a little bit and arrange some things out. So the next time I come back, the track should be at least, I'd say, pretty. I don't want to say vastly different, but it's going to be different, right? And then we'll export into the Force and get started on arranging it inside of the Akai Force. Finally, what, 2.5 hours in or something like that? All right.